This coverage is brought to you by Rami Rent.
Hello and welcome back to the Estonian Open Round 1 Back 9 coverage of the FPO featured card. I am your lone host today, Nate Perkins. This coverage is brought to you by Rami Rent. This tournament and tour is brought to you by Zuka and Prodigy Disc. This is the fourth stop on the European Pro Tour. All this post-produced footage is going to be on the Disc Golf Stream YouTube channel. There is also live coverage of every shot on the lead card at every EPT event all season long. Making strides for European disc golf. We are here at the Kõrvemaa disc golf course, about an hour's drive outside of Tallinn. Getting right into the back nine here. Hole 10, par 3, 81 meters. Gentle bend in the fairway from left to right. There's a couple early gaps that you have to hit about 30 meters off the tee. Probably one of the more scoreable par 3s on the course. And Keiti had a really impressive front nine off the tee. If she would have made all her circle one putts, she would have been looking at a 4 under par. All right, Keiti from just outside the circle. Another band hit. That is just unfortunate. She has been fire off the tee. Great birdie from Heidi from 5 meters.
Yeah, let's finish the hole and then okay. Put it in.
Hole 11, par 3, 120 meters. You can see just how tight this first gap is. It's slightly uphill the entire way, and this is actually one of the cooler pin placements right here, because right behind it is actually a bunker where a Soviet tank was backed into to hide it. Pretty unbelievable. Oh, and Silva finds the late gap right there. And a beautiful tee shot right there. This hole was only birdied a few times in the MPO field. This card is really just looking to hit this initial gap and then get up and down for their par. Can see just how tricky this final approach really is if you're not in the right spot. Anything on that early left side, and there's just a lot more to deal with as you approach the green. You really want to hit the gap and finish on that right side. On the pole for par from Anniken. Yeah, really can't even overstate how cool it is that there are these trenches that are still here from what, almost 80 years ago now. These were dug out. All right, hole 12, par 3, 106 meters. Gently bends from left to right here. Kind of want to push that back wall and then see your disc just kind of drift on Anheuser for the right-hand backhand shot. Somewhat of a tough pin to park. A lot of the times we'll see people putting from 10 meters short or right of this pin. Yeah, she had great speed there. She needed either a little bit flippier of a disc or a bit more Anheuser out of the hand to see it kind of drift and match the shape of that fairway. And very, very similar for Keiti. She had enough speed, but she needed more Annie or a flippier disc. Just catches the last tree on the corner there and kind of slows her disc. And that last guardian tree is going to keep her from getting into the circle. She's going to be looking at a 12-meter putt for par. Great looking putt from Silva and just finds the NBDG band. Natural born disc golfer just not letting him into the chains today. No doubt that Keiti has been practicing with Kristen Tatar. She has a very similar putting stroke, going straddle, spin. All right, hole 13, 108 meters. Pretty dead straight, but you can see these trees on the left. You want to go either right of or over the top of, and then you just need to beat the wall of trees on the right. And then this green kind of slopes from right to left. So it's another hole that's really tricky to absolutely park. We often see people putting from 10 meters short or 10 meters down the hill and to the left. And Heidi kind of turns that one over. There can be some tricky up and downs from that right side. The trees are pretty dense. And that's a very common shot on this hole, is to kind of just barely straighten it out a little too much. It's really hard to match the shape of this fairway without finding the wall of trees on that right side. And another pretty looking baby Anheuser shot from Anniken. She's playing some steady golf during this opening round. Yeah, well thrown from Keiti. That can be a pretty tough spot to get up and down from. Anniken in a similar position. Bink. Confident looking putt right there from Silva. And 14 sets up pretty great for Anniken. Only danger in this one is kind of pushing too far to the right and finding that OB line. Pretty tough setup shot for the right-handed backhand here. Wow, really well thrown from Silva. That's still going to be just outside the circle too. Oh, come back. What a shot from Keiti. You can just tell that she's brought a different level of focus to this weekend's event. She is 1 under par putting for birdie from 11 meters. And after a rough kick, Anniken has this left. Oh! Gets some chains. Nearly dunks it from the woods. Oh, and nearly back-to-back medal hits right there. Yeah, she hasn't quite found the putting stroke today. Can tell when you're kind of missing left like that, you're just kind of undercommitted and might not be as confident in the stroke. You're worried about, she did have a 3-putt earlier, and a lot of the times with an early 3-putt, we'll see players kind of start to miss left because they're just not hitting the putt with confidence and not quite giving it enough. All right, hole 15 is one of the longer par 3s. It borders the actual longest par 3 on the course. Right there on the left side of the fairway, there is OB left, OB right. Very tough hole for this division here. And Keiti just kind of playing the safe shot on the right side. There is OB right, but it's pretty hard to find it if you're playing a flat to hyzer shot. And Heidi just really hits the disc hard. Did she make it all the way OB? No, I don't think she did. Anniken going to be taking this one wide left here. Good safe shot around the cluster of trees. Yeah, good distance control right there. She's pin high, looking at a 5-meter putt for par. Keiti also around that 5-meter mark. As well as Anniken. Oh, really confident stroke right there. She even had that putt a little nose down too. Don't see that too often. And another right side miss for Keiti from inside circle 1. She's definitely going to be looking back on this round and wondering what could have been.
For the win. Yes, he gets it in. Wow. So well deserved.
Silva Saarinen on hole 7.
Oh my god. What an incredible ace.
Oi, todella kaunis putti Peltoselta.
All right, hole number 16, par 3, 120 meters. A beautiful disc golf hole here. Nearly dead straight the entire corridor. There is OB on this right side. And there are a couple trees that kind of shape this gap up. You do not want to hit early here. Heidi just needed that to flip up a little bit more and gently drift, but she has covered most of the fairway with that shot. And Anniken asking for it to hit something. There is an OB road over there on the right side. Wow, great looking shape from Keiti. Gets a little skip. I think she's inside 15 meters there. This would be such a big birdie. Oof. Online, just not quite enough pace. And let's see if Keiti can't make the correction. She's missed the last few on the right side, and she's once again going with the straddle. Hey! Run it back. Straddle from 13 meters for the only 2 of the FPO division. That is quite the birdie from Keiti Tati. She is back to under par for the round. Yeah, we as a card have been all over that band today. All right, hole 17, par 3, 90 meters, slightly downhill the entire way. This basket is elevated up on this stump, making the putts pretty tough here. There is OB deep, so speed control is pretty important here. There's also OB right, so you can't throw too flippy and risk bleeding through all those trees. Yeah, just didn't quite hit the line. Good kicks. She's back into the fairway. That's circle's edge right there for Silva. Oh, a little late drift from Heidi. Oh, that's bullseye. What a beautiful shot. Yeah, it's a really scary basket to putt on. I mean, there's just so much airspace when you're putting from above the pin. And that moves Heidi to 1 over par, just 2 back of the pace setter and Keiti. All right, final hole of this opening round, par 3, 112 meters. Changed up from previous Estonian Opens. They added some saunas here by the lake, and so they have moved this pin a little bit shorter over to the left and up the hill a bit. This is another tricky basket to putt on. Tons of rollaway potential. And Heidi is just displaying her power right there. Nearly inside the circle, all hyzer. And Keiti kind of taking a conservative line. Yeah, a lot of trust right there from Silva to put the flex on it over the pond. And Heidi and Silva just both missed their bids for birdie, and this is just an unfortunate slow roll right here. No way. All the way down. And she's looking at nearly 20 meters here. Oh, yes. Run it back just inside circle 2. What a comeback putt after the roll away. And Keiti to close out her round. And really tough day on the putting green for Keiti. She's gonna finish at even par. And Heidi will be just 1 stroke back of Keiti. Anniken will just be 5 strokes back. Taking a look at our leaderboard here. Keiti, Heidi, Kaidi, and Tinha will make up the round 2 lead card. Guys, this coverage was brought to you by Rami Rent, tournament brought to you by Zuka and Prodigy Disc. Subscribe to the Disc Off stream. Give me a like, leave me a comment, give me all the feedback you've got for me. Again, I am Nate Perkins, your lone host for the FPO lead card coverage from this European Pro Tour event. We will see you for round 2.